Hey there, my wedding planning friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thanks so much for clicking on my video. I'm Emily Summer. I'm a wedding planner based in Montana, and I make weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice. So today's video, we're going to talk about something that I haven't really touched on a whole lot in previous videos, and that is bridal party expectations and what is kind of reasonable to ask for from your bridesmaids and groomsmen and members of your bridal party. So this video is primarily going to focus on kind of the financial side of what's kind of reasonable to ask for from your bridal party and what bridal party members can kind of expect when accepting to be a member of a wedding party. So first of all, let's talk about the wedding expenses that the bridal party can kind of expect to pay, or what you can reasonably ask your wedding party to pay for themselves. This is typically wedding day attire. I have seen some couples choose to purchase the wedding attire for their bridesmaids or their groomsmen. That just kind of comes down to what your overall budget is. If you can afford that, if you can, that is fantastic. And I know that your bridal party members will greatly appreciate that gesture. However, that's typically not expected. So if somebody is agreeing to be a part of your bridal party, typically they are expecting to have to pay for their own attire. Now, this should be kept in mind when choosing the attire for your bridal party. Typically for groomsmen, they tend to have the easier way out, and this is a lot easier to select items, and they are typically renting and not purchasing, so it tends to be less of a cost burden for the groomsmen. For bridesmaids, this can be kind of all across the board as far as from a financial standpoint. So just keep that in mind when selecting whatever attire you're going to require from your bridesmaids. If it's a specific type of dress that is, they don't really have a whole lot of wiggle room and things to choose from, just be aware of what that price point is going to be and make sure it's something that your bridesmaids can comfortably afford without feeling too strapped or pressured to be a member of your bridal party. It's always great if you can give them a little bit of an option. So maybe you have a few different dress varieties that you like, and you're going to let them choose which one makes the most sense for them, and their decision might be based on the style, their decision might be based on the price, kind of giving them that option of what they can comfortably afford to be a part of your wedding. Another expense that is typically expected to fall onto the bridal party members is travel and accommodations on the wedding day. So their flight to get to your wedding, their gas to drive and travel to your wedding, wherever lodging they are staying, unless you are providing like one big Airbnb for your entire bridal party. Sometimes I see that done, especially at destination weddings, but typically it's expected that the bridal party members will pay for their way to attend your wedding. It's not expected that because you are getting married and they're in your wedding that you need to pay for their flight or their gas or whatever it might be to get to your wedding. That's pretty much just expected that to be a part of your wedding, they're going to be paying their way to get there. So when it comes to bridal showers and bachelorette parties, this is where the waters get a little bit muddy, and it can really depend on your overall circumstance as both a couple and also kind of your group of friends that you are including. So this will vary across the board, and take everything that I am saying with somewhat of a grain of salt. This is a lot of opinion-based ideas and kind of just what's commonly done and what I see, what I have participated in, and what I hear other couples and bridal party members doing. So when it comes to bachelorette parties, we'll start there. Typically, it's customary for the bachelorette, the bridesmaids, and whoever's attending the bachelorette party, they will be paying, for themselves to travel there, to stay, whatever the accommodations are going to be. And a lot of times they are going to cover the bride's costs. That being said, typically not the travel costs to get there. So it shouldn't be expected that the bachelorette party is a completely free ride for the bride, especially if it's destination. So if you're doing something local and maybe you're renting a house and doing some activities that are not crazy expensive, then sure, you might choose to all split amongst yourselves, especially if you have a larger group, and pay for the bride's portion for this. But if you are traveling somewhere destination, if you're going to Vegas, if you're going to Nashville, if you're doing something like that, it shouldn't be expected that you're going to completely cover the bride's cost to get there. Airfare is typically not included in something like this. You can pitch in and split the Airbnb, you can pitch in and split the dinners for the bride, but it should not be expected that just because they're the ones getting married, they are the bride, that they should just get a completely free trip. That isn't what this should be. And I have seen bachelorette parties become such a big event now. It's no longer just a night of fun. It's typically weekends. A lot of times it's travel, and things are getting on a much larger scale when it comes to bachelorette parties, but so are weddings. So it shouldn't be both. On that note, if you are having a destination wedding where all of your bridal party members need to fly, pay for airfare, pay for some form of travel, and pay for accommodations for your wedding, highly recommend going a little bit on the smaller scale side for your bachelorette party. That way you're not requiring and asking so much from your bridesmaids to pay for both a destination wedding and a destination bachelorette party. Of course, they want to celebrate you and be a part of all of these exciting activities and celebrations for you as the bride, but this isn't their wedding. This isn't their big celebratory weekend, day, whatever monumental moment in their life. They are doing it for you, and it shouldn't be a financial burden on them in order to participate in these things. When it comes to planning, the bachelorette party is typically a joint effort by the maid of honor as well as the bridesmaids, with the maid of honor kind of being the point person for booking the lodging, booking any activities that you might be doing, and kind of corralling the rest of the gals and being kind of the point of contact person. But typically it's somewhat of a joint effort between maid of honor and all of the bridesmaids and any additional non-bridal party participants that are going to be in attendance at the bachelorette party. Bridal shower is similar. Again, customary for the maid of honor to kind of be the head of planning this. A lot of times with the bridal shower, you will have more family involvement than with the bachelorette party. So a lot of times mother of the bride or future mother-in-law of the bride, aunts, some type of family members a lot of times will pitch in with the assistance of the bridal shower. And this should ideally be split among multiple members when it comes to planning the bridal shower. And typically the bridal shower isn't going to have as much cost associated with it as the bachelorette party. There shouldn't be travel unless bridal party members live elsewhere and they're traveling to get to your bridal shower for the weekend. But as far as the bridal shower itself, this should typically not cost many members of the bridal party too much money to attend, other than what they are bringing as a gift, or maybe they're contributing some type of food or favor or something like that for the bridal shower. Hair and makeup, this can go either way, and I have seen it done pretty frequently either way. So my kind of opinion on this and what I think is reasonable is when it comes to hair and makeup for the bridal party, if you have a requirement, if you have a minimum you have to reach for your hair and makeup stylist to travel to wherever you are, or to provide their services on site, as this is sometimes very common. If you have that minimum, meaning that you need to require your brides to get hair and makeup done, or if this is your preference to require your bridesmaids to get their hair and makeup done, then the bride should cover the cost of whatever the hair and makeup is. If they don't have a choice in the matter and this is something that you really want, then that's something that should be included within your budget and a cost that you are providing. If you are giving bridesmaids the option to have hair and makeup professionally done, if they're going to be on site and this is available to them, then they can pay for their own hair and makeup. That's kind of the way that I see it, and that's what's customarily done in a lot of weddings that I see. Again, this really varies across the board and what your overall budget is, what the budget of your gals is going to be for that day, as they're already going to be paying for a bridesmaid's dress. So maybe you just have an open, transparent conversation about this and say, this is hair and makeup costs for the day. Is this something you guys can swing? Is this something that is within your budget, or do you want to opt out? Things that your bridal party members should not be paying for. Number one, day of transportation, especially when it's a destination wedding. If your bridal party needs to get from one location, like a hotel, to your wedding venue, transportation should be provided for this. If this is something where they need to get an Uber or get a cab or have a shuttle or something like that, cost of transportation to get to your wedding on the wedding day should be covered by the couple. Most often, if this is the case, if your bridal party members don't have their own form of transportation, then usually a shuttle is a great way to go here, and that way you guys can all stay together and you are traveling with them, or the groom and the groomsmen are traveling all together, whatever that might be, provide some form of transportation if your bridal party will not have their own. Jewelry and accessories. If you are requiring a specific type of jewelry or shoe that you want them to have, this should be covered by the bride, and a lot of times this is done in the form of a gift. So typically there are bridesmaids gifts that are given out either the night before or on the day of the wedding or sometime leading up to the wedding day, and a lot of times this is jewelry for the bridesmaids if that's something you want them to wear on the day. If there's a very specific look that you have and you want everyone to be consistent, they should not be required to purchase that jewelry or those shoes in addition to already purchasing a bridesmaid's dress. Additionally, food on the day should be provided by the couple. So getting ready food, coffees, lunch, whatever it might be. The day is long and food is necessary, and it's one of those things that can get forgotten about and not that easily accessible, especially if you are providing hair and makeup services and needing to be on site for a very long time prior to the wedding ceremony. So having some form of food, sustenance, snacks, waters, whatever it might be, as the couple, this should be provided by you for your bridal party that are there to celebrate with you. Your wedding day is a huge deal, and the people that are closest to you are going to be excited to be participating and standing with you and supporting you for this huge life milestone. But it can be a big responsibility for those that are included in this. And I have unfortunately seen this create rifts in friendships and lose friendships over bridal party conversations and expectations from the bride, or just overall pressure with being a bridal party participant. So here are some tips on discussing the kind of the money side with your bridal party or potential bridal party members. If you plan to have a destination wedding, this should be communicated when talking to your bridesmaids prior to asking them to be a bridesmaid in your wedding. They should know what they're getting themselves into financially and having to take time off of work and all of those things that go into it if you plan to have a destination wedding. This way, they do have the choice to say, yes, I can make that happen and I want to be there, or no, if that's not an option, they can't take work off, they can't afford it, they shouldn't feel pressured to have to make those kinds of decisions. So make sure that you are communicating that up front. Or if you have a specific idea in mind for your bachelorette party and you know it's going to be a little bit on the costlier side, if you do want to travel somewhere, maybe you're going to do a more extravagant bachelorette party and a pretty small wedding, again, that should be communicated as well and say, hey, this is likely going to cost around this much. I just want you to be aware of this. Is this something that you are comfortable with if you were to be a part of my bridal party? Additionally, if you're watching this as a potential bridesmaid or a member of the bridal party, be upfront and transparent with what you are able to afford. So if being a part of a bridal party, if saying yes to being a maid of honor, if saying yes to being a bridesmaid is going to put a lot of financial stress on you or even mental stress on you, it's okay to decline. This should not affect your friendship. If you are a bride, do not take offense to somebody declining the offer or the ask of being a part of the bridal party. This likely has absolutely nothing to do with you as a person, has nothing to do with your friendship, but it can be a lot to ask from somebody to be a part of a wedding party. So keep that in mind. Don't be offended. Don't let it ruin your friendship on either end. It's okay to decline if you don't feel this is something that you are up for or that you are able to fulfill the duties that are required of you, whether that's financially or otherwise. There is a reason it is customary to have that kind of proposal or ask for your bridesmaids to be your bridesmaids or your groomsmen to be your groomsmen. It is not a requirement. Like I said, being a part of a bridal party has so many fun perks. It's a great time to be able to celebrate so closely with the ones that are in your life, having them, getting ready with you, having them, those pre-celebratory events like your bridal shower and your bachelorette party, and standing next to you while you say your vows and get married to your partner. However, there can be some tricky discussions and things to navigate when it comes to being a bridal party member. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to get weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice, and we'll see you next week.